All right, let's see. Average net worth by age. Oof, I already know I'm way down underneath this, but let's see, man. Maybe y'all ballers like that.
Ever wondered how your net worth stacks up against others your age? Whether you're in your 20s and just starting out with some debt, or if you're in your 40s building your dream life, or let's say you're in your 60s nearing retirement, we have data on all those decades and everything in between. We're also going to be covering, in my opinion, what your net worth goals should be by age in order.
Nah, but let me just make a guess. Net worth, what is it? I'm 27. I gotta have at least 100K. I feel like that's like the average, or what it should be expected around my age, like 70 to 100K, maybe 60 to 80 actually. I mean, 60 to 80K a year, probably like 15,000 saved. Any properties? Probably not. At least not in my area I'm in. But we'll
To
see.
set yourself nicely for retirement, and these are going to be above average targets. The data today comes from the Survey of Consumer Finances, as well as the anonymized user data from Empower's personal dashboard as of late 2024. As always, there will be timestamps, so if you'd like to just skip around and go to your decade, you can do that. Let's start with the decade of the 20s. So the median net worth in this category is $7,522. That's as of the most recent data that we have.
$7,522? That's it?
But that also happens to put you in the bottom 20% of all wealth quintiles. But the thing is, $7,522 in net worth is a lot more common than you might think, especially in your 20s when you might have debt like student loans.
Holy. Nah, I'm up. I'm dead ass up. In my savings right now, as of this moment, I got 14K. I got double the median, bro. Nah, y'all too broke to be hanging with me, bro. Y'all too broke to be hanging with me. And on top of that, I ain't got no debt. Well, actually, I got collections. Let me shut my mouth down. Let me sit my stupid self down.
Now, $7,522 in net worth doesn't mean that you have that much money just sitting around in your checking account. Net worth is the total value of everything someone owns, known as their assets, and you subtract everything that you owe. These are called liabilities. This is a number that you should know like the back of your hand. So if you have $10,000 in a checking account, $20,000 in a retirement account, but you owe $50,000 in student debt, technically your net worth here would be negative 20K.
All right, hold up. Based off that math, so I have 14K in my checking account. In my retirement account, I think I have like, I don't have a lot. I think I have like 3,000. But I have no student loans. I have collections, but the collections like what? Like 2K? I don't have any payments of any sort except like bills. But does that count as a liability? Because I technically don't own the property. We'll see.
$50,000 in student debt. Technically
I'm still up, bro. I'm still up. For my age, holy moly, bro. I thought I was down bad. I'm down up.
your net worth here would be negative 20K. As your net worth grows over time, I think it's a better indicator of wealth over income, because compare somebody with a $1 million net worth who makes $50,000 a year versus someone with a $100,000 net worth who makes 500K.
Nah, if you make it 500K a year and your net worth only 100K, what are you doing with your money, man? Like that's gonna be like, you just gotta be burning it at that point. Like there's no way.
A year. While you can have a large amount of income, if you're spending it all, then at the end of the day, you have nothing to show for it. So in a way, net worth, I think, also accounts for discipline and behavior, which we will talk about shortly. If you're in your...
Well, you know what? That is true. I'm very disciplined. I don't be spending money on nothing. I'm not very materialistic. Honestly, I don't even be buying things. Most of the stuff I got now is handed to me for the most part. Like as a gift. Which is crazy now that I think about it. Like I don't even be buying my own clothes, nothing, bro. Most of that, like when I want new clothes, I wait till Christmas, straight up. Or I wait till someone gifts me something. And that's it. Other than that, I will not go out of my way to buy new stuff. And that includes shoes. Damn, bro. But what's crazy is because, like, I don't consider myself materialistic, but there are materialistic things that I just want to have in life. Like my dream car. But hey, man, we'll see.
Your 20s and your net worth is above the median. Another benchmark to consider is the average net worth. According to Empower's data, the average net worth for someone in their 20s is $110,241.
All right, never mind. I'm cooked. Never mind. I'm not even close to that. What? How? Damn. Oh my God. Oh my God, bro. I am like so down below, bro. Holy. You know what? Let me take back my bro comments, bro. Let me take it back. I'm eating with y'all, bro. I'm eating the scraps off the table. Holy.
This number is significantly higher than the median, likely because individuals with exceptionally higher net worths are just skewing the average upward. That's why I think median is a better metric to pay attention to, because it represents the middle point of the distribution. That way, it gives you a clearer picture of where most people actually stand. The average, on the other hand, can be distorted by outliers, making it less reflective of the typical experience within the age group. What if you don't want to just be a median type of person? So here are some stretch goals for you. So if you're in your 20s.
Oh no. Oh my God, bro. If middle is still 100. Man, if middle's over 20,000. I'm cooked, chat. I'm cooked. I'm actually cooked.
He's looking to be financially free one day. These are more above average targets. On the low end, we should strive for a 42,000.
Oh my God. Oh my God. The low end is 42? Oh my God, bro. I'm fucking eating with rats. I'm sleeping on the floor. I'm homeless, bro. What is this? 42? Are you? Oh my God. Okay.
$251 net worth by the end of our 20s, and on the high end, that should be $65,495. And if you're somewhere in the middle, that might look like around $53,000 in net.
Oh my God. I'm in the low end, bro. Like I'm talking fucking. You gonna see me in the food stamps line type of thing, bro. Like, damn.
Worth. Now, if you are absolutely killing it, I have a column just for that. And if you want to be in the top, let's say 10 or 5.
No, I need to log in, bro. I need to log in quick.
5% of net worth. By the age of 30, you should have a net worth of $250,000.
Bro, I'm 3 years to 30. How the heck am I supposed to come up with $250,000? Hey, man, what is that Andrew Tate said, or Kai Cenat? It only takes 1 year of locking in, bro. And you can change your life forever. I just need to lock in for 1 year. 2025. This is the year, bro. 2025. 25000. Bro, the pieces are coming together.
I developed these net worth stretch goals by projecting out realistic income levels for each age from 20 to 65 and then averaging them by decade. I then combined this with the Money Guy Show's net worth formula. So they have a really great formula on how to calculate a benchmark net worth for your age. And I adjusted the denominator for those before age 40 and over age 40. And finally, for the killing it targets, I just actually incorporated inspiration from the Financial Samurai's Stretch Goals. That's a popular blog. And that gives a high achieving perspective for those that are absolutely saving and earning a lot of money. I'll make sure to link both of them.
Man, saving and earning a lot of money. Bro, those guys gotta be like doctors or engineers or something, man. Actually, that's not true. They could be in the tech field as well.
Resources in the description below, but I will be referencing this type of methodology for the rest of the video. If you're in your 20s right now, my top 3 goals for you are the following. So number 1, I think you should systematically be trying to save 15% of your income or more if you can. Let's say you can only save and invest around 5% of a $60,000 salary. That means every single year you're investing $3,000. This is a way better use of money than say 125 DoorDash deliveries over the course of a year. You can feel free to debate me on that.
Bro, by the way, DoorDash, delivery, all that stuff, expensive. I still do not, I've never done it. I would rather walk 10 miles to get the food than DoorDash or Uber Eats then. Because it is just so expensive. It feels like you're just paying double the price.
But you can see that even at $3,000 a year, if you get the average returns of the S&P 500 of 8%, by the time you're in your 60s, you'll still end up with an ending balance of over $1.182 million. Also, huge spoiler here, but the median net worth of someone at the age of 60 is around $454,000. So you could literally start this at the age of 30, invest $250 a month, and you would be way above that by the time you're in your 60s. Goal number 2 is to not have any consumer debt. This will give you a really strong foundation for the rest of your life. Personal finance is 80% behavioral, and if you're able to make sure you never take...
Hey man, I'm good on consumer debt, bro. Low key, got traumatized with credit cards. Not because of me, but because, you know, someone in my family. You know how it goes, man.
Take on high interest rate debt, you'll be a lot better off throughout the rest of your life when it comes to compounding that wealth. Student loan debt is still okay if the interest rate is low, especially at this stage, and just make sure you have a
Well, you know what? I'm glad to say I don't have student loans, and I've never had student loans, which I'm grateful for, because there's so many people I know who willingly took out loans. I have this one friend who willingly took out 100,000 in student loans. And no, it wasn't because they were going to be a doctor. It was for a 4-year degree that honestly didn't amount to anything.
plan to pay that
It was crazy. I told him it was a bad idea, and he still went through with it.
Off reasonably. And goal number 3 for you in your 20s is to have a plan to make more income eventually. In your 20s, it's not super imperative.
Yeah, this is my plan. I'm trying to make this YouTube, even if I could get an extra $1 a day. That's like, what, $30 a month? Eventually, it will increase. I just need to be optimistic, consistent, and disciplined.
Imperative that you're raking it in like crazy, but you should.
And I need to be more entertaining, to be honest with you. That's what I feel like I'm lacking. Like, yeah, I feel like I'm not adding that much to these reaction videos. And I feel like if I was funnier, I'd be adding more.
Have some sort of idea of how you'll be able to increase your income like crazy in your 30s or your 40s. Your 20s are a great time to experiment with a lot of jobs, careers, and have a lot of coffee chats with people in industries that you're interested in to see what you would be interested in long term. All right, let's get into your 30s now. So it's in this decade that you're likely building your dream life out. Perhaps you're hitting your stride in your career, and you may also be starting a family and have some big purchases coming up like a home or a wedding to pay for. The median net worth at this age range is $35,309, and the average
3 years
is
from 30. I gotta be making 35. I gotta have 35K in the median net worth, and
$307,000.
an average of 300. Oh my god, bro. The more I see it, the scarier it gets. But you know what? We just gotta work through it, one step at a time.
$136. It's important to note that if you don't have the median net worth of $35,309 or you're still in debt, it's really still not the time to panic. In your 30s, it's still early enough to where if you start taking things seriously now, you can take some actionable steps within your own financial life, and then you'll be right on track for the future. The goal of today's video is to show you how most people are doing in the United States. So if you aren't in the spot you want to be financially, I'm glad you found this video, and I hope you're taking some of the steps needed to get started with investing, saving, and making a plan for your finances. Now, in terms of net worth goals, especially stretch goals, I think on the low end, you should strive for $162,000 by the time you are ending the decade of your 30s.
Oh my god, 162? Oh my, let's see. I make 52 right now, but that's with overtime, and overtime is not always guaranteed. So let's say I had 3 years starting this year. 52 plus 52. 104 plus 52 again. That's still not enough. I'd have to get a whole new job.
On the high end, that's going to be $270,000 and plus. And if you are killing it, you may want to.
No, but I need to lock in. I want to be. My dream is to be a millionaire by my 30s. And honestly, I'm not very materialistic. I just want to buy my dream car. That's literally the only thing I care about. I don't care about anything else. Like, I don't mind living in a shed for $700. Like, and literally, as long as I have a roof over my head, food on my table, and clothes on my back, like, I'm fine.
I'm going to strive for the $660,000 mark by the time you're 40. Now, let's take the middle case here, 100.
But you know what? Another thing I would like to do, crazy, fly on a private jet. I don't know what it is, but ever since, you know, seeing the music video, like, the song by Fergie, dude, Glamorous, flying first class. Living the life, like, I gotta experience that. Not just first class, but first class and then a private jet, like first class in a private jet.
$197K in net worth. At the age of 39, if you have a net worth of $197,000, you're still on track to become more than a net worth millionaire by the time of age 65, because with 25 years of compounding until the age of 65, as long as you don't lose the money, you should be able to get that net worth above the $1 million mark, provided you continue doing what you're doing. In my opinion, I think there are 2 main goals in your 30s that you should be focusing on. Goal number 1 is to avoid lifestyle inflation and keep your spending as low as you can. The 30s are going to be a decade where you start earning more money, and oftentimes what creeps up is that you will want to spend more money, especially to keep up with others. So while getting a new pair of Nike,
you know, I've never understood why people like to keep up with others. Like, it feels like, I don't know, for most people it's just self-destructive. I don't know. That's how I feel about that.
These might get you some clout among your friends. They won't pay for your retirement expenses. If you haven't watched my video on why looking poor is important, I will link it down below and at the end screen of this video. But one of the main principles is that 65% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. And sometimes a difference of just a few lifestyle choices can have a huge material impact on your net worth down the line. If you can save, say, $500 a month by looking poor and not succumbing to lifestyle inflation, after 1 year, that's going to be $6,000 that you can use to invest, or perhaps you use that money to invest in your own skills to make more money later on. An extra $6,000 per year invested into the S&P 500 can be well worth over $500,000 in 25 years, which could be a huge difference for you in your life if you're willing to forego some of the material possessions in your 30s. Goal number 2 is to be completely debt-free, so everything except your mortgage debt by the time you are 40. The idea here is that in your 30s, since you're in your prime earning years, this is the decade to really start ramping up your net worth. The last thing you want are credit card payments and other existing loans that are slowing your compounding of wealth. So personally, I paid off my car back in 2020 when I was financing it before, so I was even financing it at a pretty low interest rate. My rationale was that I really just hated the monthly payments. I had some cash that I could afford to put towards my car at the time. I wasn't using it for anything else. And I just really wanted to know what it felt like to not have a car payment anymore. And let me tell you, once I did that, paid the car off.
Yeah, I just know, hey, I've never had a car payment because honestly, I've never owned my own car. Truth be told, I mostly just use the cars that's here, which is my parents' car, because I live at home, unfortunately. I mean, well, not unfortunately. I'm glad I live at home because I could move out. I can't afford it. I just choose not to. Because if I'm going to waste money, I'd rather spend it on my family instead of some random landlord. But that's my philosophy on that. So I've never technically ever owned a car, so I've never had car payments. But for my brothers who have moved out and do have their own car payments, they told me it is the worst experience ever. It feels like something's eating away at you and your finances every month. And the thing that's eating away at you, the car itself, it only gets more problematic as time goes on.
A weight was like lifted off of my shoulders and I really felt free, like I could operate more freely and I could just really focus on increasing my income. All right, so now we're in our 40s. The median net worth here is $124,509 and the average starts to get pretty crazy at $776,000. So still, what we're seeing here is that you're gonna have those really high earners skew this number way higher, but we should still stay focused on our own targets. On the low end in our 40s, a stretch goal is to have our household net worth be over $385,000. The middle case would be $434K, and the high end would be over $600.
Household, bro, what? Let's see, if you have kids in your late 20s, let's say my age, 27. If I were to have a kid today, by the end of 30, they'd be 13. 13. So year 40, how the heck is my household supposed to have 385? Like, assuming my wife is like the girl I'm dating now, which she's a nurse. I'm like trying to think, like maybe while she's in her 40s, she'd be getting paid like what, 100K, if that. But then again, I'm in the tech field, so if this YouTube stuff doesn't pay off at all, which I know it takes time, so I'm gonna give this like 2 years, 2 years of consistent uploads. Pray for me. Surely I should see something. But if it doesn't, I'm still gonna practice my other skills. But I'm just really hoping this pays off. Or at least not pays off, but at least adds some kind of extra income for my work. Well, not really work. I'm stealing content from other people and just reacting to it. But still, you know what I mean? I'm yapping to y'all. But yeah.
$100,000. Now, if you're absolutely killing it, then you might be over 7 figures by now. But again, this is household net worth. So this is pretty much usually a combination of typically 2 people. In your 40s, there are a few goals that you should be shooting for, in my opinion. So number 1, you should have your retirement number in mind. You're probably still about 2 decades or more away from retirement, but your investments will need to be able to support your lifestyle in retirement. A good rule of thumb is that you want to be able to live off of 4% of your total investable assets per year during retirement, and this is known as the 4% rule. Now, in a recent video, I debunked the fact that you always have to default to, let's say, 4%, and while 4% is conservative. Even the founder of the 4% rule has slightly revised it upwards to 4.7%. The idea here is that a 4 to 4.7% withdrawal rate is safe because while you are withdrawing that money, your investments are still earning the average market returns of 8% per year and replenishing what you use. I always like to use $1 million as a benchmark here. So if you have $1 million invested and you withdraw 4% per year, that means you are getting $40,000 every single year. If you know your lifestyle costs $40,000 per year, then $1 million should be your target. If you have a higher slightly withdrawal rate, say 4.7%, then you would need around $851,000 to make that work. So in your 40s, if you can figure out how much you want your expected lifestyle to cost one day when you retire, you can easily back into the final goal number of...
Honestly, when he phrases like that, my expected retirement, I think, like assuming I have no debts, I have everything I've wanted. Honestly, I think I would be fine with 70,000 annually. Because at that point, I would just be spending it on other people. I mean, besides food. Unless food ends up becoming to that point where... Because, hey, I ain't gonna lie, groceries is going up. And the taste is not tasting better. It's tasting a little bit like the same time when it was cheaper. A little bit the same.
What you're aiming for, and I have a lot of resources on the channel on how to do that. Once you have that number, I think that sets up a really good North Star goal for the next decade or two of your life, and now you kind of figure out what number you need to work towards. Now, I think we all want to have the baller budget, but I think what we really need to do in this case is to be ballers on a budget and be realistic with our goals here. Goal number 2 in your 40s is to have all your big expenses accounted for. That can mean paying off your house or saving for a college fund or just simply prioritizing your retirement. And goal number 3 in your 40s is that you want to be paying off your mortgage in full, ideally by the time you're age 50. Therefore, this eliminates one of the largest expenses that you will have, which is housing, and that gives you more options once you retire. With this goal, I would also want you to stay away from the temptation to borrow against the equity of your home. You just really want it to be paid off. And then you really just want to think deeply about what types of financial decisions that you want to make with only about 15 or 20 years left until retirement. We want to focus on making good decisions financially, and that means preserving our capital. So the only way that we could really derail our retirement plan right now is to lose a bunch of money. Now, ideally, you're making good financial decisions into your 50s.
I feel like the only way that could happen, low key, is a divorce or something. It's like the only thing I could think of. Or cancer. Oh my God, cancer is insanely expensive. Even with insurance, it is stupidly expensive. Not from personal experience, but from what I've looked up online. And that thing is definitely still going to be around by the time I'm in my retirement age. Or in my 40s, so sheesh.
And now that we are in our 50s, the average and median net worths get pretty crazy starting here. The median net worth for someone who is in their 50s is $287,482, and the average is over $1 million at $1.389 million. Again, we have our stretch goal targets here for the low end, middle end, and high end of the net worth goals.
I got a plan, don't you worry, guys. I got a plan.
And if you are absolutely...
I'm going to get this out the mud, bro. I do not want to be a corporate grunt till the day I die. Honestly, like, granted, I don't really do much at my job, but I don't know, just the routine and the structure. Like, I'd rather wake up. Like, honestly, if I could start earlier and finish earlier, I would prefer that more than starting later and finishing later. Like, if I could wake up at 4 a.m. and clock in at 4:10 and then finish my shift by, like, freaking, I don't know, like 12. Yeah, like afternoon, I'd be Gucci. I would love that. That would be like the greatest thing ever. But I don't know.
Absolutely killing it. You should have over $2 million by the time you end the decade of the 50s. I think there are 3 big goals for the 50s decade here. So number 1 is to seriously start retirement planning. It's likely that your kids are out of the house now, so you can get a really good sense of how much you're spending on a monthly and yearly basis to plan even further. You'll also have more time for other hobbies. So for example, my mom started taking up floral arrangement classes once I got out of the house. And I thought that was pretty cute. And what I'm just trying to say is that with all this extra time, you're going to have plenty of times to think about your finances, which is really great, and hopefully a new hobby as well. You should also be maximizing your retirement savings in this decade. You want to take advantage of your peak earning years that you have left, and you want to really take advantage of the catch-up contributions in 401ks, IRAs, or any other tax advantage accounts to ensure that you are comfortably getting to retirement. Goal number 2 in your 50s is to diversify your investments even further, perhaps invest in businesses, real estate, and you also want to be shifting your asset allocation in your retirement portfolio towards more conservative picks and cash flowing assets. And number 3, I think the goal in their 50s is to reevaluate all our priorities and just make sure they're aligned with our future retired self. That means reviewing what actually matters to you. So is growing your net worth still a priority? Do you actually need an estate plan or life insurance?
I mean, honestly, whenever I think about this time in my 50s, like, even if you get everything right, like, I just know being in your 50s and 60s must be like the most depressing thing ever. Because that's like around the time where people start dropping like flies. Family, friends, people just start freaking croaking, bro. So, I don't know. And then 70s, hey man, truth be told, man, if something could get me out before I hit my 70s, I'd be glad. Because I don't know, seeing all your family die, like, that does not sound it, man. That does not sound like it.
Do you want to pay for your kids' college all the way through? Or do you just want a really fancy espresso machine so that you can make your $6 lattes at home? What actually matters to you should be answered in your 50s so that by the time you retire, you don't have to think too much about it. This is also the time you should be estimating your future expenses and assessing whether or not your savings and investments align with your retirement goals. You can also meet with a financial planner at this stage just to make sure that you're on track with everything going on. All right, so by the time you hit your 60s, the median net worth here is $439,000 in America, and the average is $1.689 million. Now, if we go back to our net worth goal table that we've been using in this video, on the low end, you should be aiming for $550,000, and on the high end, $843,750. If you're absolutely killing it, perhaps your household net worth is close to $2.8 million by now. I think there are a few main goals at the age of 60, and number 1 is to finalize your retirement. You want to evaluate whether or not your retirement savings will match projected expenses every year. You may incur some taxes on the time you're about to retire if you protect it. So sadly, that means no investing in fart coin or chill guy meme coins out there.
Damn, rip, dude, no investments like that.
You just have to really just stay away from that or anyone else. Number 3 is to have a solid long-term plan for your estate, your beneficiaries, or anyone else you care about in your life, like your favorite finance YouTuber. Me. The major components of an estate plan are documents like a living will, a healthcare power of attorney, and these are documents that will state your preferences in case something.
Damn, basically your funeral. And the caretaker of kids.
Guardian for any minor children that you might have. So
alright, well, that's the end of this video. We is cooked.